In today's class, we are going to learn about function overloading. This is a new chapter. In our previous class, we have completed the classes and objects. Today's class, we are going to learn about the meaning of function overloading, a small example for function overloading, the advantages of function overloading. Let us see the meaning of function overloading. Function overloading means two or more functions have same name but differ in the number of arguments or data types of arguments. This example you can see sum is the function name. Both the functions have got same name sum, but the data type is different, that is int for the first function and the second function float. And the arguments are also different, int a, int b. Here the arguments are float p, float q. So in this example you can see sum is the name of the function. Both the functions will have the same name, that is sum, but the data types will be different, that is int is for the function 1 and float is for the function 2. So the data types will be different and it will have different number of arguments or different data types in the arguments. For example, in the first function you have int a, int b, but in the second function you have float p and float q. So function overloading means two or more functions will have same name but it will differ in the number of arguments and data types of arguments. The need of function overloading. The need for function overloading, or it can be asked as the advantages of function overloading. These are the advantages of function overloading, that is code is executed faster. The code for function overloading, that is the functions will be executed faster. It is easier to understand the flow of information and debug. You can understand how the program is moved from one function to the another function. The flow of the information that is from the program can be understood in an easier way, and debugging, that is debugging means correcting the errors, it can be done easily. And code maintenance is easy. Maintenance of the code is also easy. Any changes can be done easily. Easier interface between the programs and the real world objects. So you can write that is functions that will have easier interface between the programs and real world objects. The functions which are there in the program will be having a connectivity to the real world objects. This program is to find out the area of the square, area of the rectangle and area of the triangle. This is a practical program. Here we have header files, that is iostream.h, conio.h, stdlib.h and mat.h. We are using iostream.h, that is for input output operations like C in, C out, and conio.h is used for clear screen and get ch. stdlib is used for exit function and mat.h is used for square root. Now let us see the program. The class is a keyword and function overload is the class. And here you have got public. Public is the access specifier. And we have got here public as the access specifier, and the public you have got different functions are there which has the same name. For example, the first function what we have taken, the first function, that is float area, float a. This function it is used in order to find out the area of the square. For example, the value of float is 5. So it will multiply 5 into 5 and the output will be returned as 25. We are using the return statement over here in order to return the output back to the main program. So this is the first function. Okay, same way you have got one other function, that is the second one. The second function is the float area, and you have got return L into B. Return L into B. For example, the float value, if you take it as 5 and 2, so it will have 5 and 2 as B, and the output will be 10. That will be returned back to your main program. So we are having this area, another function area, in order to find out the area of the rectangle. Now we have got one more function, that is area. Again we have got here arguments, three arguments s1, s2, s3. Now we have a formula s is equal to s1 plus s2 plus s3. In order to find out the s value, we are finding out using this formula, that is s1 plus s2 plus s3 divided by 2. Suppose the value of s values are 5, that is s1 is 5 and s2 is 3 and again s3 is 5. So now we have to add these values, that is s1 plus s2 plus s3. So you get 13, then divided by 2. So 13 divided by 2, you get it as 6.5. So 6.5 is the s value. Now we are going to find out the value, that is square root of s into s minus s1 into s minus s2 s minus s3. So when you find out, that is 6.5 into 6.5 minus 5, 6.5 minus 3, 6.5 minus 5. So the final output what we will get is 7.15. So this output will be returned back to your main program. So you are returning this value to your main program. So now we have finished with three functions. That is, first function we used it for finding out the area of the square, the second one area of the rectangle, and the third one is area of the triangle. Now we have got this part, that is void main. Void main is the main function which is being used, and here we have got a return type void and a main function. Always we start any program with a main function, and function overload is the class name, it is the class name, and f is the object name. And here clear screen in order to clear your output screen. After that class name and the object name, function overload and f, we have variables that is x, y, z, and float is the data type. Int is a data type and n is the variable name. Enter the number of inputs, that is cn is n. Suppose if you give n as 1, it will check with this condition that 1 is equal to 1. The condition is true, it will execute this block of program. Otherwise it will go to the next condition and it will check. Suppose if the n value is 2, 2 is equal to 1, no, the condition becomes false and it will not execute this part of the program. It goes to the second part, that is else condition, that if 2 is equal to 2, yes, it will execute the second part of the program. Again it will check 3, if 3, it will check 3 is equal to 1, no, so it goes to the next part. 3 is equal to 2, no, so it goes to the third part. 3 is equal to 3, yes, so it will execute the third part of the program. So now we have given, suppose if we give n as 1, in that case 1 is equal to 1, so the condition becomes true. Then enter the input for the square. Suppose the input they are given as 5, area of the square is equal to, here the function call takes place and the control will go back to the function here. This part is defined here. So here that a value 5 will be copied here, and 5 into 5, 25 the output, and it will return back to your main program and it will print the output area of the square is equal to 25. So the first part of the program, that is in order to find out area of the square, is over. Now the second, suppose the input you give is 2. Then in that case it will check the first condition is not true, it goes to the second condition, 2 is equal to 2, yes. So it will ask enter the input of the rectangle. So two values, for example you are entering 5 and 2. 5 and 2 are the arguments here, and here the function call takes place. F is the object name, dot operator we are using in order to access the member function of the class. So the function call takes place here. Again the control will go back to this function over here. So two values, that is suppose you are having 4 and 2, that is x value is 4 and y value is 2. The control will go back to this place and here L value will become 4 and B value will become 2. So 4 into 2, 8. 8, that value will be written back to your main program. So now area of the rectangle will become 8. Suppose again the input is 3. We'll check again. 3 is equal to 1? No. 3 is equal to 2? No. 3 is equal to 3? Yes. So this part of the program will be executed. Enter the input of the triangle. For example, 5, 3, 5. You are accepting. Here x value will be 5, y value will be 3 and z value will be 5. So these values will be copied to your S1, S2, S3, 5, 3, 5, and then you will find out the output, calculate the output, and then the output 7.15 will be written back to your main program. Then it will display area of the triangle is equal to 7.15. Suppose the input what you have given is not 1 or 2 or 3, you are giving the input as 4. 4 is equal to 1? No. So it will not execute this part. 4 is equal to 2? No. 4 is equal to 3? No. So it will go to the else part here and it will print invalid input. So your 3 inputs are there, that is 1 input for the case of square, 2 inputs in case of rectangle and 3 inputs in case of triangle. So you are calling the function over here f dot area of x. F is the object name, dot is the operator used in order to access the members of the class. That is area is a member of the class. In order to access the member we are using the dot operator along with the arguments, that is x is the argument. Whatever the value we are giving will be copied to the function over here. A, the x value will be copied to A and then it will execute the answer, that is output, and it will return the output back to your main program over here. Suppose the input is 2, then 2 into 2, that it will calculate here and it will return the value, that is output, back to your main program. So area of the square becomes 25. The same way area of the rectangle also works, but here you have two values instead of one value. You have got two values. Suppose 4 and 2. So 4 and 2 will be copied to L and B, that is 4 into 2, 8 will be written back to your main program. The area of the rectangle becomes 8. Again here 3 values are there. 3 values will be copied to S1, S2, S3 and it will find out the answer and it will return the answer back to your main program. Hope you understood this program.